And we are live. My name is Terry Thompson. I am the host of Unbreakable Stories, along with my co host here, Bonnie, who is sporting the absolutely amazing multifocal glasses lenses. I swear, you look about 10 years younger.
Oh, aren't you sweet?
I love it, man. Happy New Year, by the way.
Almost, yeah. Happy New Year. Or does this like work like Monday for you? Every day is a Happy New Year.
Every day is Monday, I swear. So it's like a new Monday. It's like a new moon on Monday.
There we go. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
We
goodness, man. It has been a truly phenomenal year. And Bonnie, before we really kind of dive into tonight's show, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for an absolutely memorable year. I don't know what I would do honestly without you as a part of Unbreakable Stories. You've been a valuable part of not only Unbreakable Stories, but within my life and business and friendship and partnership, Clubhouse, all the above. And I just want to say, first and foremost, thank you so much.
you're welcome and thank you. We wouldn't be here doing this, obviously, among all the other different kind of ventures we've taken on over the past year. I was thinking about this last night. I heard you say 2 years. I think it was, I don't know, a few months ago. And I was thinking, I was like, it actually has only been a year and a half, but feels like it's been 5 years, which is kind of crazy and incredible. Um, and just, yeah, it's been a wild ride. I'm excited that we got to try so many different things in 2022 and kind of figure out what we like, what did we not like, what worked well, what did not work so well, and looking forward to what 2023, what we're going to bring to 2023 versus a lot of people are talking about what's 2023 going to bring. I was like, I don't know, but I'm going to show up and we're going to do this. So I'm excited for that.
Well, I believe in intentional action, and I don't really
Right.
care what 2023 is going to bring. I know what I'm going to bring.
Exactly.
And that's what I can control. So many people get towards the end of the year and they feel like it's a time to relax. It's time to kind of let go. And it is. I'm not saying that I'm not doing that. I'm doing a part of that. I'm doing a piece of that. I'm taking a step back from a few things and focusing on a couple of other things because the end of the year is a time to reflect, but it's also a time to kick it into high gear for the new year as well too. And I've already started that. So like I've got literally an entire day tomorrow planned. And then Sunday is going to be a marathon day of like 15 to 17 hours of doing work, on things because it helps me set the tone for the new year. And if that first day is not like it's just me going full on and full out, like I feel like I've let myself down and it does set the tone for the year. And I've had a couple of years there where I felt that I was like, man, I am not feeling today. I don't want to do this. I'm not going to play. And not to say that it ended up being a bad year. It definitely didn't end up being a bad year, but it kind of set the tone for how the year went. Have you ever experienced anything like that?
Um, I'm not going to say no, like not that I recall. I've definitely had before I got kind of in the personal development space and self improvement space, I definitely had a different mindset about things and was like, oh, well, if I didn't start it on Sunday or Monday, I had to wait. I was always really bad with that with like planners. Like if I didn't start the planner on January 1st or whatever, I had to wait till the next week or the next month. Like I couldn't start in the middle of a week or the middle of a month. It was just this weird thing I had. And finally, I was like, look, this is ridiculous. I'm wasting time and resources.
Mhm.
If I start on a Thursday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, then so be it. At least I got started.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you end up wasting more based on the fact that you already wasted some. Um, as far as setting the tone, I think like in my mind, I'm also very intentional. Like it's
Mhm.
today's my best childhood friend's birthday. And I was sitting up last night working on some things because nobody was home, and my husband's been getting up at 4 o'clock for work. So it was like me and just the living room and my laptop. It was quiet, you know what I mean. So I had time to really think. And um, for me, it was like a better reflection, and what do I need to remove? We talked a little bit about, letting go of what no longer serves us, either in our last live or the one before that.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's where I'm starting. That's how I'm going to set the tone for this year. I did this in 2020 before things kind of went crazy in the world. And it was really, really helpful. It's almost like emptying a space before you fill it back up kind of thing. So yeah, I kind of went on a tangent there. But I don't remember that ever happening per se. But I'm not going to pretend that maybe it hasn't at some point.
Yeah. And and I'll remember like the best first of like January that I ever had. And it was actually back in 2018, between 2017 and 2018. And that was a great year. It was a phenomenal year. That first day I put in a marathon, like literally I had the house to myself, just like you. I had the house to myself. I had my computer, internet connection, and time. And what I did is I put in an absolute just brutal marathon of a day. It was a 17-hour day of nonstop, just nugget it out with work. And it set the tone for that entire year. And that was actually my most profitable year in business that I had. Okay. And it was one of those things that I was like, wow, you really must set the tone for the entire year. And oftentimes people wait, they wait until the end of the year, wait until the first day of the year. But you know what? Every day is Monday. It is. It truly is. Every day is Monday. So for me, it's like I almost don't really care what day it is because every day is Monday. But I do know how important it is to set the tone.
Yeah, I love that. I like I said, for me, I've been really focusing on just kind of being in the moment, being intentional at the same time, feeling my way through some things. I know that there's been quite a few things the past 2 years that I really fought like an uphill battle to get through. And I don't want to be, I learned and now I don't want to be in a constant state of struggle. And so that's a big shift for me. But I'm also a firm believer. I actually just made a post on LinkedIn not too long ago that every moment is literally a chance to start over. And if you think about life in that way, like I like what you said about setting the tone. I think it's important to have that intention, but I think it's also important to know that if, say, your kids came home early, or the power went out or something in that day where you plan to get 17 hours worth of work done and get a jump start on what you're doing, just know that like all is not lost. And I think I very much lived in a space for a while where I felt like if things didn't go right off the bat, like everything else had to fall apart or was going to fall apart, and there was no recovering that. And I've learned since then that that's definitely not the case. But if you can wake up every morning or every Monday and set that tone and say, this is what I intend to do today, this is what I'm going to get done, this is what I want to accomplish, and do that repeatedly, that becomes a habit. I know habits are one of your favorite things to talk about versus, goals and whatnot. And so the habit of setting the tone is a good one.
Yeah. And I'm working hard every single day to establish new habits. Not that I really need any more, but it's a matter of how you shape the habit. That matters most as well, too, because habits really are not just, any old thing. You could be like the habit of waking up early, the habit of sending a text message, the habit of working until the job gets done, the habit of giving yourself grace, the habit of, insert whatever that works best for you. For me, I want that to be a habit, a consistent thing that I do every single day, or maybe every Wednesday, or maybe every Friday. Like there's that habit. It's like what Evan talks about. Like he has the habit of setting an intention for the day. Monday's this, Tuesday's that, Friday's this, and every single day, like clockwork, that's the habit of what that day is. He's clearly defined what the most important thing that he must get done that day. Like this day's CEO day, this day is whatever the case may be. So I truly believe that when you establish better habits, you will stay on target. You will stay on track. I'm not always motivated. I'm not always inspired, but I am committed. It's about establishing better habits. So within 2022, let me ask you, what is the number one habit that kept you on track in 2022?
Showing up consistently.
That's a good one.
Honestly, I've had more people even point out to me this year. They're like, "Damn, you just don't not show up. Like, is there any reason?" I had a Marshall challenged me a couple of months ago to, um, meeting X number of people and whatnot. And he was like, and look, he's like, after what I've seen this last year, he's like, I don't care if your arm is falling off. You don't get any excuses. He's like, you always show up. He said, you always show up. So if your arm's falling off, you better show up. But he's right. I have built that discipline and that habit of showing up. I'm going to say 99.9% of the time, because there have been a few things that have popped in that, have prevented me or stopped me from showing up for different things. But all in all, I think that's another good thing to recognize, that you mentioned the word grace, is that missing once, again, all is not lost. I do have to throw in there too, the biggest habit that I quit, that I let go of, was smoking this year. And that has had a massive, thank you, impact all around. One that I'm still learning to celebrate and talk about and get comfortable with, because for me, in my mind, was like, well, you weren't supposed to smoke anyway, so why are you celebrating not doing the thing that you're not supposed to do? Like, you know better. But I'm learning. I'm in a process of learning how to take credit for and celebrate my wins. So
I love that. Filtering certain things that no longer serve you. And that was something that we talked about in the last live stream that we had.
Right.
And I love the fact that you said showing up. You can't show out if you don't show up. But here's the thing that's important with that is that when you are consistent with showing up, you're sending a message to other people that, you know what, I'm here, I'm showing up. What's your excuse? No matter what, whether it's rain, whether it's shine, whether it's good weather, bad weather, I'm hurt, I don't feel good, something happened in the family, whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. You're going to show up. And I tell you what, you will literally, you will, how can I say this? You will inspire, you will empower others. You will empower others, because if it's possible for you, it's also possible for them. What's their excuse? Like, hey, I showed up, I'm here, I didn't feel like it. I could easily be over there curled up on a ball on my beanbag, just sitting there eating a bag of chips and doing whatever it is that I'm doing, but I'm here. It's one of the, like, before we went live, I told you how bad, like, I'm hunched over because my freaking back hurts today. My back and my neck hurts, and my shoulder hurts again. It's a bad day. It's a bad pain day for me, but I'm here, so it's like, what's your excuse? And I truly believe that so many people, and I don't want to throw grace in there, because I truly believe in grace, but I believe that people give themselves too many excuses for not doing the things, not grace, because excuses and grace are two different things.
Yeah, it's the same way I feel about reasons and excuses, just to throw that in there, but please continue.
Yeah, excuses and reasons and all the, people want to blame circumstances, situations, and this, that, and the other, instead of taking ownership. We was just having a conversation, before we went live, about somebody that we know that continuously makes excuses. And I'm not going to throw names out there. That's not what I do. But what I do is I attack the action. And the action is that when you never take responsibility for the things that you can control and you try to place blame on others, you're never going to achieve success. And people will see that. And if you constantly show up in that manner of throwing out excuses, placing blame on others, you will distance yourself from other people if they don't distance themselves from you.
Yeah, I think, I do agree with a good bit of that. I think what it is you have to decide what your priorities are. And there have been some times where I've shown up for things where feeling miserable, but knowing that this isn't about me is a big part of it. And what I committed to doing and who I was committed to helping. And there's another piece of it too for me, is like, for crap's sake, we have to turn on a damn computer and sit here. Now I know you're standing right now, but like, for us to go do some of this stuff several years ago, like you had to get in your car, you had to drive somewhere, you had to have a studio, there had to be like there was a whole freaking ordeal. And it was last week or the week before, I was sitting here on my phone because my sound wouldn't connect. Was it ideal? No, but I still showed up. And so that's the one thing that I think people, the reason they're not getting the success is because they're not building that confidence in themselves that they show up pretty much. No, I'm going to say pretty much, no matter what. I'm not going to pretend that that's. I would always do that. There was a lot of times where I was so harshly judging the way I looked or the way I sounded or what was going on behind me or this or that, the other, that I wouldn't show up. I would let that prevent me from. And finally, I was like, look, my participation is more important than what my hair looks like, what clothes I'm wearing. If a kid happens to skirt through, like, hi, I'm going to mute here for in a moment. Yeah, exactly. He talked in like this. We're live. So yeah, but I used to.
Hold on for a second. Hey there, big guy. How you doing? Happy New Year.
He said, "Happy New Year."
Happy New Year.
He's got
awesome.
Here we go. Anyways, I would let things like that stop me, like from just the fear of judgment, and it was kind of like, okay, like I could either sit here and wait for them to grow up, wait for them to move out of the house, wait for this to happen, but I'm going to get 10 years down the road and be like, I didn't do any of the things that I wanted to do. And plus it also teaches them things like boundaries and knocking and manners and whatnot. So I'm going to mute for a moment to see what he needs.
All right, no worries. We have a friend waiting backstage as well too. So I want to bring Alay up here and hear his thoughts. And man, Alay, welcome to the show, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. Nice to see you both tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I am telling you, my back and neck, shoulder, like everything hurts from like the middle of my back up.
Oh, that's not good. Either too much shoveling or too much sliding on the snow. That's the question.
Too much out playing soccer and walking and working out today with my son.
There you go.
But anyway, hey, so I got to know, and we also have Peter waiting backstage. So I want to go ahead and bring Peter on up here as well too, as soon as he wipes his face. So I see everybody backstage. Y'all don't, but
hello.
Peter, welcome, man. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Awesome. But Alay, I want to turn it over to you first, and I want to know, what are you most grateful for 2022, and what are you looking forward to in 2023?
I would say that one of the part that there are two things actually. One is my family. The more time I spend with them, the greater they are. Even though the greater the challenges, it's always a lot of fun. So I'm grateful for my family, and I'd say that I'm also grateful for the community, from youth, from Unbreakable Stories to Evan and the Movement Maker, because it's always sometimes when I'm questioning a few things. I'm always reminded that if I recenter myself, there's always a community to make sure that I can reset myself and then move forward and not stay and not move back. And that's what I'm most grateful for. Thanks for asking, by the way.
Yeah, I love that. You know, and the ability to bounce ideas off of other people or thoughts, not necessarily like I'm just going to be brutally honest. Like, I don't need validation. I'm not looking for validation. But here's the thing, testing those ideas off of other people to see if maybe you missed something. Like, for example, if I was to bounce an idea off of Bonnie, and she's great at this, by the way, I just want to let everybody know that she sees the things that I don't see. So it's not like I'm looking for validation. I'm looking for, what did I miss?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she comes right on in and says, there it is. And I'm like, you know, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
You know, kind of a thing. And I'm grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and she mentioned that one time because I talk about my 5 rights, and she right on in and said the right support without missing a beat. And I was like, sometimes that's the power of that community, is having not only the community, but the support, the perspective, the outside, you know, ideas, things, because we all have knowledge, skills, but the number one thing that separates us is our experience. We all have different experiences. And when we get within that community, man, it's powerful when you can bounce ideas and get ideas at the same time.
That's right. Especially when we can build on other people's experiences, because we're moving forward, we're doing the best we can. But then we have other people with amazing experiences, and they can just help us leap forward faster and learn from them. So that's always amazing.
Yeah, I love that. So what are you looking forward to most in 2023?
I would say that I'm gonna look for consistency. That's my biggest thing. I know that I know what I want to do. I know my goals, but to be consistent is my biggest thing here, and 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 being proud of how let's say having the certainty that I can achieve that. So that's basically what I'm looking for.
So what's the one big project that you're focused on for 2023?
Okay, well, I met with Evan in November, and I think I do these the videos for science students and so on. And I think I'm going to look at taking a textbook and then going through one textbook at a time, so that I can, first of all, share what I know. That's the first thing. Second, one of the big issues in teaching nowadays is that having the teachers to be in classes. There's a lot of teachers that are changing career. People are being sick. So having consistency for students has been the biggest thing, and having people there for their learning. So I think that if I can build resources for that, that's my big goal. So taking your textbook, being there for example, the first one I'm working on right now is grade 9 science. And then I'm going to work on math and other topics too, so that if people are looking for resources, either at home or at school, they'll be available. So that's my big project at this time.
I love that. Peter, over to you, man. What is the number one, what are you most grateful for 2022, and what are you looking forward to in 2023?
Yeah, for me, definitely will be my family. So finally this year can bring them for locally travel around, because previous 2 years still stay at home only. And the secondly is grateful as well for the community, Unbreakable Story, and the movement maker as well. Because last year I joined a lot of community, but the community not long for a year. So for this two community, I will hopefully be along for forever. Yeah. Then I'm looking forward for 2023 will be launching my online courses, and looking forward for build as well for momentum. Thank you.
I love that. So tell me what, so within 2022, what was the one thing that was holding you back from launching your courses in 2022?
Professionalism.
Professionalism. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you feel like you just didn't have everything together, like the tips, tools, techniques, resources, maybe the right words, or the right community, or the right ideas, or the right platforms?
I can say that because lack of the accountability body. Yeah. In 2022. So now I had the accountability body, so we will launch together our online courses together. Yeah.
Okay. And what are you looking for? So in 2023, what are you looking forward to, and what's the biggest thing that so you're going to launch your course in 2023?
Yeah.
Is that that's the biggest thing you're looking forward to in 2023, or is there something else? Okay.
This is the bigger one. Then the second one will be launching my new podcast as well. Yeah.
I love that, man. I got some podcasts in mind as well too. Dan, working on Poputainment and a couple of other things with some other partners. Man, it's been interesting. It really has, because I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone here, launching a magazine. But I also think that the future of media has changed, and it's continuing to change, and it's getting into this online platform to where if you create, all those things together, whether it's a website, a newsletter, a podcast, a magazine, all of these things work together within media that can become mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at a lot of these things, like you look at CNN, you look at TMZ, you look at all these big companies, they're media companies. That's all that they are. They're just media companies. It's all media, and it's shaping the story that people consume. You talk about my 4 C's, and you've heard me talk about my 4 C's, where you consume, create, collaborate, contribute, collaborate. That's a part of that, because media is a huge part of that. But what's the number one thing that people are consuming out there within the world? It's media, whether it be social media, news media, whatever the case may be, media. And that's what we're working on here, not only within Unbreakable Stories, but what I'm working on in different things like Poputainment. I'm shaping the future of, or being a part of, what is becoming the future of media. You know what I'm saying? And magazines are one great way in which that future can be shaped. Positioning, it's all about positioning. That's what I'm focused on, positioning, because if you look at a lot of the people out on social media with the blue tick marks and all these other things and the verifieds, they're media. Those are people within media. So it's like, wait a second, that's where the game's at. That's where the game is totally at. Now there's a couple of different ways of looking at that. As an entrepreneur, yes, courses, books, all those things work together. But how many people are becoming an actual media company? So if I position myself as a media company with the magazine, that and the podcast, all that works together to get access to the one person, because it goes back into my AEIOU model. Access is everything. And if I have these things in place, what's that going to position me for? Access. I got a podcast. I got a magazine. And then I got a course. So if you look what Evan's doing, what's he been doing here a lot? Not really lately, but he did a lot of that in 2022. Guest instructors, guest people coming into Movement Makers and teaching, coaching, teaching, training, mentoring. So then that helps position, hey, I've got this platform. Would you like to come over here and be a speaker, an instructor? What is the value that you bring? So I'm thinking about all that. I'm thinking about all of my own frameworks and how it all kind of ties in together, and how it's like, how can I put this Tetris block over here? How does that Tetris block fit over there? And it all works to the bigger picture of what that goal is moving forward. So that's kind of my take on what I'm excited about for 2023 is, the launching of 2 media companies, that one's going to change the future of education and one's going to change the future of entertainment. So that's what I'm excited about. Bonnie, what are you working on? I know that you got a lot of things going on. What are you most grateful for, and what are you looking forward to within 2023?
What I'm most grateful for. I'm going to say support, honestly. I would throw a lot of different kinds of things this year, from physical health to family stuff. Both of my adult children moved out of the house this year, and not necessarily on great terms initially. Actually, I take that back. My daughter moved out at the end of last year, but we had a falling out or something. I don't even know what to call it. Everything's good now with everybody, but that was crushing for me. That was the first time anything had ever happened like that between my kids and I. I mean, honestly, I launched my business earlier this. I mean, there's just so much. So all of those things, I felt more supported by people around me, by like you guys, people in Movement Makers, people with my company, or, I work with over Perpetuity, people I had never met before that I just met this year. And so I don't even know how many times I stood back and just said, wow, I just feel more supported. And whatever it was that I was doing, different points this year than probably ever before in my life. And so that, it's just amazing. As far as what I'm looking forward to in 2023, like I mentioned earlier, I'm actually looking forward to getting back to basics, if you will, with a lot of different things. I'm very fortunate that a lot of different opportunities came my way in lots of different shapes and forms. But I think one of the best things about opportunities is we also have a choice, right? And although they are wonderful options for somebody, they're not always the best option for us and the time or place that we are in our own lives. And I have come to a place where I need to make some space, and where I need to not be doing so many different things all at the same time, because I've kind of gotten to a place where I am kind of wearing myself out, and I'm not able to give any one thing my focus the way I'd like to. Um, Whether it's time bound or because I literally just can't focus. And so I'm just not doing things as well as I really would like to. And so that's one of the first things I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be having some medical procedures done here in January, and then, well, whenever the insurance approves the other one. And so I haven't made any giant project plans for the first couple of months of January or for 2023. I'm actually going to spend that time just connecting and really fostering a lot of the relationships that I started to build in the last several months of 2022. And so right now, that's probably the thing I'm looking forward to most, is just getting to know each of these people better and just seeing kind of where the universe takes that, or where we can take those, different friendships, relationships, etc., etc. So yeah.
I love it. We have another friend backstage. I'm going to go ahead and bring her on up here right now and see what she has to say about 2022 and 2023. Welcome to the show, Lady Lexi. Same question. What are you most grateful for 2023, and what are you looking forward to or what are you most grateful for in 2022, and what are you looking forward to in 2023?
Can I list a couple of things?
The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, I'm very grateful for having been able to travel both to Chicago, Paris, London. Well, three places actually. Realizing I could do it without crutches, being able to just bring suitcases, go live while I was there, spending time with friends. I can't tell you how much that means to me and has meant to me to see places, tell people about it, share my stories, but also just having the freedom of going there and walking around. And I won't say it's easy, you know the story. I mean, you're experiencing it yourself right now. But the mere fact that I can do it, I mean, I haven't walked with crutches for a year now, and that's pretty cool. So that's one thing. As for this family, and I'm looking at all of you, and then I'll also include Zen and Evan. It has meant the world to me to be able to go live with all of you and to push me in that direction of going live myself. Well, all of you know that I've had a struggle going to Chicago in September. When I came back, I didn't succeed anymore going live. I picked it back up again. So that's a good thing. And yeah, exactly. And that's also because we got to talk about passion, and I was on your show and we talked about it. And I think that basically listening in to that one show and also participating, it made all the difference. So since then I'm back at it again. And just now I've been uploading videos to YouTube, scheduling them, all that stuff. And well, I've been working with some technical stuff, figuring out how do certain things work, what does work, what doesn't work. And all those things, they're cool things. So, yeah. And yeah, maybe a little something that maybe not specifically for 2022, but I did get to learn how Christmas is celebrated in the UK. That's going to be on my list too. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, there are so many things to list, but I think those things were the most important ones. I mean, it's seeing you guys doing it, being able to do it with you, that makes all the difference. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at each of you. So Terry, Bonnie, Alain, Peter, and yeah, it's, yeah, I can't say how much it means to me. It means a lot to me. Yeah. So
I love it.
Yeah, and I don't have to tell you about health, and that freedom that comes with it when things are slowly improving.
I can 100% relate to that as well too. So in 2023, what are you most excited about, and what's the number one thing that you plan to accomplish in 2023?
Well, I am going to accomplish my podcast. So sound should be better now. So I'm like, well, I can probably start this Sunday.
Awesome.
With the podcast, because I basically recorded the whole challenge thing. So I can use those recordings basically on podcast to put it out there. And then I have at least 7 or 8 or 9 probably about the same subject. And I'm not done with the subject just yet because, I don't know which one of you was talking about letting go. Okay, there you go, Bunny. Well, that's it. It was yesterday on Clubhouse. Yeah. Well, that's basically it. It's the whole letting go thing and making room for new things to come into my life and improve. And I started out with letting go, say, basically this month, and just to see how it's going to be in the next month. That's going to be so exciting.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Well, let me add just one little nugget of value there. You already have content for a podcast. Think about all the live streams you've done on Instagram. Think about all of the videos that you've recorded on Instagram. Think about all of that. You can literally take that and you can upload. I do the same thing. Like, look at like Unbreakable Stories podcast, my Bottom Line Upfront podcast. Both those are literally videos that I recorded on like Instagram and different and YouTube and Zoom calls and all these different places. Think about it. It's content. It's media. It's how you upload it. I'll give you a great example. Like Russell Brunson, for example, from ClickFunnels. He literally uploads stuff to his podcast. It's crazy. It's not even really like in a podcast format or anything like that. But look, break the rules on what a podcast actually is. If you upload like a 10-minute video, a 15-minute audio, or 30-minute audio, or a 3-hour audio of, good stuff, it's content. It's different. People can consume different things differently. When you upload that audio, think about it. All of the stuff that you did on Instagram, that's great content. Is it out in audio format to where people that are on Spotify and iTunes and iHeartRadio and all these other different places, they can't listen to it if you don't upload it there. So think about a lot of the ways that you can record once, but distribute everywhere. Distribution is everything.
Yeah, that's so true. And I saved a lot of files as audio files, also from StreamYard, but the whole StreamYard thing, that sound quality that was so horrible. And that's the thing which kept me going, because every time I wanted to upload something from StreamYard, I was listening and it was, that won't work, not on a podcast. But I guess the whole thing on Instagram, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a matter of downloading the videos, compiling stuff if you want to. Here's one thing that don't forget about. This is something that I do. I record my own commercials, my own ads. So it's like
that's so cool.
I got the Poppy Payment podcast going on, and there's an Unbreakable Stories ad. And now a word from our sponsor. There's some music playing, Unbreakable Stories blast in there. Hey, you got a story to tell that one. But it's like I do the whole Unbreakable Stories bit. So don't forget about like your own ad. It works together. You don't have to have sponsors. You can start out with your own ads. What that does is that positions you as a podcaster that's playing ads. And people are like, ooh, she's playing ads in her podcast. Can I pay for that? And sponsors will reach out and they'll be like, hey, you got a podcast. I want to pay for a sponsored. I've done that like multiple times where I've done sponsored bits or little things and how I share people. And sometimes I've even gifted people that. Like literally, I'd be like, hey, I like Peter. And I think that what Peter is doing is absolutely phenomenal. And he's got this great show. I will literally record like an advertisement that will generate traffic over to Peter as a gift, as like a free ad or whatever the case may be, because it's those things right there that literally could drive support, that could drive want, need, and desire. And it could drive business as well too. Think about it. Like I do that all the time within my graphics, within one of my author businesses. I will literally reach out and just send somebody a graphics pack. Oh, thank you. That was awesome. I love that. Peter does it all the time. Look at what Peter's doing all of the time. He does so much work right there. Somebody's going to see that and be inspired by that and be like, how can I work with you? I've got this project. Peter, can you do this for me? Think about it. It's all about distribution. It's all about positioning. It's all content. It's all media. It all works together. It all builds on the emotional thing that becomes.
Yeah, true.
Awesome. All right. So we do have a couple. We had one question in here. I know Alay just asked a question right here. What is the one word you think that may define 2023 for you? So we'll start with Alay. Alay, what is that one word that will define you in 2023?
It's a good one. I think it's going to be determined.
Because
I was looking at my one word, which is learn or learning. And at some point I was saying, okay, learning is great, but why do I want to learn? And to be determined to break down limits and learn something new so I can go beyond what I actually know at this time. So determined is my word this year, for this year.
I love that. Peter, over to you. What is your one word that will define
My
you?
one word will be adventure. So
Ah,
will be that new beginning and then new discover everything. Yeah.
adventure. So tell me, what kind of an adventure do you want to take people on?
Yeah, for me is for the online courses, then I can build a community for the Japanese who like the Japanese language, Japanese culture. Then from the language, then build a community. Yeah.
And Lexi, what is your one word for 2023?
Oh my God, the question. I think I want to inspire people. I want to be the storyteller, but on a consistent basis.
Okay.
And storyteller can be, in the broadest sense, but I think I want to be that inspiring storyteller.
I love that. Bonnie, what's your one word?
I was going to say surrender, but 2020 was a year of surrender for me. And I'm not even talking about like the pandemic. That was just kind of like the universe saying, all right, this is a word you chose. Let's see if you're serious about this word or not. And then I thought of the word allow because I'm focusing on clearing out, making space. I kind of get on this kick every December, January-ish, and it just finally made sense to me this year. Why? But where I kind of purge, like I do like a pre-spring cleaning. Like I don't wait till March or April or May like a lot of people. I tend to do my purging around the end of December, in January, getting ready, kind of getting rid of the dead weight, if you will, kind of like what winter symbolizes, honestly. But honestly, I think the word that seems to fit the best right now is be.
And what do you want to be?
That simple. Just be.
And what do you want to be?
I just want. We finally had a Christmas this year that was not a struggle in some sense. And when I sat down Christmas evening and was just like, wow, that was a completely different feeling sitting down and just being. I was just like, this is just amazing. Like everybody's kind of doing their own thing, bopping around, it was just fun to just be. Like I had no specific expectations of what it had to happen. And I was just very content. And I just did what I could and allowed the rest to kind of fall into place. And it was just I know it's kind of woo-woo for some people or spiritual, whatever, but it was just to feel that at ease. And at a time where normally I'm like ready to pull my hair out and maybe even somebody else's. Like,
not going to be mine.
Right? I'm going to find a way, Terry. I'll wait for 3 days for it to grow back and I'll find a peak. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I just had this feeling of ease, just really feeling at ease. And it's been a long time, not a long time. It's not like I've never felt that before, but it was just, I was very much in a state of gratitude for that. Right. And so I think if I can just be more often without specific expectations and without forcing things to happen and without making everything so damn difficult or overthinking or complicating or whatever, I can have that feeling of ease more often. I can create that for myself and for everyone around me. And I think that just makes everybody better off. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still going to show up. I'm still going to be determined. I'm still going to give my best when I say I'm going to do something. I'm still going to do the thing. But I think being able to cultivate that feeling of ease is going to allow me to do those things even better, especially with my first part of my plan, which is getting rid of all of the things that aren't serving me any longer.
Mhm.
So thank you for asking that question, because you really gave me a chance to clarify. I work well with questions apparently, and I was able to kind of clarify that also for myself.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm just going to say B.
I love that. And, and I learned a long time ago, if you want better answers, ask better questions.
Or questions at all. What I need to start doing is writing questions down for myself. It's like, what do, blah, blah, blah.
Now I really meant that towards yourself. The thing
Yeah.
is that if you really want clarity, ask yourself better questions, and you will find deep within those answers, the things that will become.
Yeah.
You say you want to be, but here's how you be. You be by knowing and doing. You must know the thing that you want to be and then take the action to do the things to become. So I learned that when I was in the military, because leadership in the military is be, know, do. Right? It's be, know, and do. You can be anything that you want to be. Remember the old commercials for the Army is like, be all that you can be, however it goes. I can't sing it. I can't remember, but it's like, be all that you can be. And within the military, it's be, know, do. And that's leadership. It's the foundation of leadership right there. If you want to be, you must first know. Well, what must you know? Well, there's a lot of things that you must know. But everything that you know, you don't necessarily have to do. But that's the reason why filtering is important. Knowing what the most important things to do, and that will lead you to where you become.
Yeah, I love that, the concept. I think for me is I spent so much time borrowing goals from other people, and this is probably going to take the conversation other direction, but that's okay. I found myself in a lot of different spaces the last few years where I'd never been before, and in doing different activities, and it was all very exciting. I got to learn a whole lot of stuff, but in doing some of those things, and people are, well, what's your business plan? What are you doing with this? How are you going to do that? And I'm like, I don't know. So I just borrowed goals from a whole lot of people, and then I would get to the end and go, what the hell did I even accomplish? Like, some of it turned out really cool. Like, this has been an amazing experience, right? But there was a lot of other stuff that I was just testing or trying or whatever the case was. And it wasn't necessarily, I mean, it all happened for a reason. Like, I'm not complaining whatsoever.
Mhm.
But it wasn't like I was like, I'm going to be this. And then I took all the steps in an action plan to get there. It was like, oh, that looks like it could be cool. Or, oh, so-and-so is having a lot of success with that. Or, oh, somebody said I might be really good at this. Let me try that out. And it was really just trying to figure out who the hell I was and what do I want to do. And I spent a lot of time doing and not being as introspective and figuring out what I really wanted. And it was just doing a lot of things because it seemed like it was the things I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
And
I love that.
the human beings versus the human doings. Like, a lot of us forget to just be sometimes, just sit and just be.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that. Human beings and human doings. I absolutely love that right there. And that's a part of giving yourself grace as well, too, is understanding that you don't always have to do anything and everything. Sometimes you just have to be. And sometimes that's enough. Somebody asked me a question the other day. It was like, when is enough, or what is enough? And I didn't really have an answer for that. I really didn't. When is it enough? What is it? What is enough? And really it comes down to this right here, is understanding the fact that you are enough. You are enough. All these things that people are so unhappy about, it's like, I want this, I want that, I'm striving for this, I'm hoping for that, wishing for that. Who doesn't have that, kind of a thing. And it's one of those things that we're completely unsatisfied because we don't understand the number one thing that we must have within this life to be successful. And we already have it. It's ourselves. And that right there is what I truly believe is the power of just being. Be yourself, and the rest will take care of itself. And I think that so many people are lost within their own identities out there within this world. And I definitely don't want to dive down that rabbit hole, because that's a whole conversation that'll take up probably 2 or 3 days right there. Because I'm really kind of passionate about that one as well too. And there's a lot of people that are lost within their own identities out there, that they don't even know who or what they are. And at the end of it, just be yourself, and people will connect with that no matter what you think you are, who you think you are, or whatever the case may be. And like I said, I could go down a rabbit hole with that conversation, but I'm not going to. But you got something there. Just be yourself, and the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that there's an element of balance in here too, right? It's not like I'm just going to sit around meditating all day, every single day, and expect that my success is just going to be handed to me. That's not the case. It's that I got to December and realized, where the hell did my spiritual practice go? Where the hell did my quiet time go? Where did my reading time go? Where did this go? Where did all these different things that are priorities to me? How did I let other things take priority or precedence over them? And it's slowly, and things chip away at whatnot. And which is why I'm back in this place 3 years later of, okay, what is it okay to say I don't need anymore? What is okay to let go of? And I think part of this is that disappointment piece. Like, I've said yes and committed to different things, and now I'm kind of like, this isn't right for me. But I don't want to disappoint whoever else is involved. And I'm not talking about this, so nobody, please don't. I'm not getting rid of unbreakable stories. That's forever. It literally was born out of my soul. But there's been a lot of other things that I've said yes to that don't necessarily align with what I want to be doing anymore. Yeah. So that's okay. I think that's the important part. It's just to make sure you have both be and do. Like, you can't have without both the be and the do. And I know that's something you love, is the be, do, have, or, it's kind of like the no, like, trust. You've got to have all three elements if you're going to get to where you're going.
And I love that. And the number one thing that you must know is knowing that self-care is not selfish.
Yeah.
I love that. So for me, my one word is ready. Ready. Simply put, ready. I'm ready. Because I feel like I have put a filter on myself over the last, I don't know, 30 years kind of a thing, for various different reasons. And I truly believe that in the last 3 years, I've put a lot of effort and a lot of work into some things that I'm truly proud of, whether it's working on my own self and my own business, or whether it's with partners like Bonnie, for example. I know Lexi and we've worked on a couple of different things, and, and I'm working on things on Clubhouse. Peter, you're involved with that, and I'm grateful for that. And we have some other friends and family as well too, that have been working really hard on some projects and some things and bringing those things to life. And as I've been building the foundation of each and every single one of those that's a part of my life and my businesses, I'm ready. I'm ready. I don't feel like there's any roadblocks. I don't really feel like there's any struggles or hardships, because I've really put in the work. And I think that so many people are out there not willing to put in the work. You will never reap the benefits of that. And I had to learn that. It took me a long time to celebrate. It took me a long time to have victory days. It took me a long time to have empathy or grace, or all of these things that we've talked about here tonight. And it's one of those things that I had to learn what self-care was, because I didn't take care of myself for years. Truly didn't. And I let a few things go. I have a lot of injuries that I can't go back in time and erase those things. I can only think about what it is that I'm doing right here, right now, and moving forward. So I would say that looking into 2023, I'm ready. I've laid the foundation for a few things that I truly believe are going to be successful. I've filtered out all of the garbage, and I think I have it narrowed down to like the 4 most important things that I can focus on in 2023, instead of like the 50 that I normally focus on. And Bonnie is celebrating on that, because she has worked with me really hard on trying to not wear myself so thin all the time. And I heard her talking about that. And as I heard Bonnie speaking, I was like, are you sure you're not talking about me there? Because everything that Bonnie was saying, I also heard myself in. And, and I just wanted to high five her there. I was like, my sister, there we go. Kind of thing. But you know what? That's the power of understanding and giving yourself grace. Is I am ready. As Lexi has got the sign up there, I'm ready. Simply put, my word for 2023 is ready.
Hey Terry, can I do a quick shout out real quick, please? I don't know if you remember me talking, but my friend Mike Van Duzy is here in the comments. I see the comments open.
Mhm.
I've known Mike for like 5 years now, and he's just an incredible human. Has some really great YouTube channels, but he's the one that got me interested on YouTube in the first place, which is how I found Evan and how like this whole Unbreakable Stories thing kind of started. So he's really part of my origin story. So I just wanted to say hi and Happy New Year. And thank you for showing up. I can't believe it's been almost 4 years since Unbreakable was even thought of. Believe that is kind of crazy. And so, yeah, I just wanted to say hi and thank you to Mike. And go check if you guys are into gardening at all. He has an amazing hydroponics channel. Puts his heart and soul. His wife has an amazing art channel. And so, yeah, I just wanted to take a moment and just say hi. It holds a special place in my heart. He's been here kind of for the whole ride.
Awesome. Huge shout out to Mike Van Duzy. Thank you so much for joining us here. And not sure if he wants to join the show. I'll put the link in the chat again if he does want to hop on here. So let me go ahead and drop the link again right there. So Mike, if you want to join in, man, there's the link to join the StreamYard. If you want to join on in, we'll have you up here on the show, and we'd love to chat with you if you got time. And Dan, so Alay asked another question here, and it's something that I asked him earlier. It's like, what are you allowing in your life that is preventing you from getting where you want to go? And that's a great question because it has everything to do with filtering. So many people are looking forward to like how many things can they get within their life? How many more? It's like we're over consuming, over putting things within our life. We're overdoing a lot of things where it really comes down to not like absolute complete minimalism. I believe in that, but it's something that I don't fully practice. But I had to learn how to let some things go. I had to learn how to not allow certain things to get within my life, because it was like I was sitting here analyzing, all these domain names that I can go buy. Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. This is a great idea. Who hasn't thought of that great idea? And I'm out here buying domain names like crazy, just money going out the door. Just ideas and energy going out the door. And then they sit there. Look, Peter, between me and you, man, well, between all of us here, Poputainment, I bought that domain name like freaking 7 years ago. The idea for it was really 3 years ago, and like what it really kind of wanted to do with it, because I was like, that's a great name. I got to go buy that name. And I didn't really like fully think about it like until 3 years ago. And I didn't act on it until about a month ago. So just to let you know, like there's things that are out there that I allow within my life that are sitting there. But here's the thing. When you allow too many things to enter in your life, guess what it does? It holds space. And you don't want those things to hold space. So when things are holding space within your mind, it's wasting energy. So you got to get rid of those things. If it's not important now, and it's not important, I want to say 5 years from now, but maybe there are some good ideas. Maybe there are some things. Maybe you're holding on to something, but think about it. You don't have to do everything. You truly don't. Sometimes I have ideas that are not for me. Those ideas are for Bonnie or for Peter or for Alay or for Lexi or somebody else. It's like, ooh, I got a great idea. I know what you're good at. You're knowledgeable here. You're skillful there. You have experience there. This would be a great idea for you. Now you can either allow that to come within your life and take shape, or you can say, no, that ain't for me. Sorry. Lexi even said that to me. Like when I presented the idea of Poputainment to Lexi, she was like, no, that ain't for me.
Did you just say no, dog?
I did. I said no, dog.
Okay. I thought I was hearing things. All my kids were here down at the table earlier. I'm not going to get into some of that conversation.
That's the southern part of me coming in, Bonnie. You don't like y'all just haven't seen the southern part of me yet, but yes, that's a southern thing.
Okay, that's a Snoop Dogg thing. That was the first thing I thought of. Poputainment, Snoop Dogg. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, look, when I'm interviewing Snoop Dogg one day, you're going to sit back and laugh at that.
I'm going to be right there next to you. I don't know what you're talking about. We were just having that conversation at dinner.
I love that. And see, and that's where Lexi comes into play with her road buddies and this, that, and the other. I'm telling you, if you start something like that, one thing leads to another thing, and it could lead to the next person. And all you have to do is just make it happen. Take the action. But once again, what are you allowing in your life that is preventing you from getting you where you want to go? We all have great ideas, but what are the things that are holding you back? What is the most, you hear me talk about this all the time, the bottom line up front. What is the most important thing that you can be doing today that will get you one step closer to your goal? And if it's sitting on your freaking tail end, flipping through damn Netflix and eating chips and crap like that, that's not getting you closer to your goal. What is the one thing that you can do today that will get you to your podcast? What is the one thing that you can do today that will get you to whatever that next step is, that next goal is, that next thing, whatever that is? Focus on that every single day. Have a clearly defined intention, otherwise what I call a bottom line up front, and do that thing. And if you don't know what your bottom line up front is, you're not on target. You're not on task. You have no clarity and obviously no goals that you want to achieve. And I'm going to say it like that. Keep in mind, you are allowing life to hold you back, things to hold you back, circumstances to hold you back, excuses to hold you back. When you can take control of your life and your actions and do the things that matter most to you, not anybody else. Because if you're sitting back thinking about who's judging you, everybody's judging you. I accepted that a long ass time ago. Everybody's judging me. Everybody's looking at me, but you know what? They're also learning from you. They're judging you, but they're learning from you. They're judging you because they haven't accomplished it. They're judging you because they're weak. They're judging you because they don't see what you're doing in them until the results happen. And then they want to be a part of the thing. Like, hey, dude, love what you've been doing. I've been watching you the whole time. Oh, now you want to come up here on this. No, dog. I'm just saying.
Hey, dog.
But you get my point there. You are allowing yourself to prevent you from getting to where it is that you want to go. And the faster you take ownership in that, the sooner that you can start taking appropriate action to achieve that. Hopefully that was helpful to somebody listening. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I do. I actually, right off the bat, want to say myself, like I mentioned earlier about the borrowed goals. Sometimes they're helpful. It's kind of like borrowed belief. Like sometimes we need to have that from somebody else to take the first step or maybe the next step, as long as that's not the space that we're living in continuously. And that's kind of what happened to me. And I was offered a really cool opportunity. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I'm like, man, this sounds amazing. And but everything about it sounded really, really good. But I was missing that excitement piece. Like I didn't feel excited. Like I knew that all the words coming out of this person's mouth, I'm like, this is going to be, if you can pull this off, this is going to be amazing. And you're going to be super successful and all of these different things. I was like, but I have to be honest. I don't think that's exactly the direction I want to be going. I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to, do whatever I can do but I don't want to be running that particular race with you or running in that direction with you. And so it has become clear to me why I have not been able to gain clarity on what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to build in certain areas. And that's because I was paying attention to what other people wanted for me or what other people were excited for me. And I fell into that hype of, you'd be really super great for this, and you'd be awesome with this, and you'd be and that's, now look, I'm not knocking that. The people really pumped up my confidence. However, I didn't stop to take a very good look at the avenues these people were excited for. Were they really something I was interested in being a participant in or not? No matter how, skydiving sounds exciting too, but I'll be damned, you're going to catch me in a plane anytime in the next 10 years voluntarily. We're going to have like a Will Smith moment here in a second. But honestly, this is not my type of excitement. That is not my type of that's not something I'm looking forward to. Somebody else would do that all day long.
I've jumped out of airplanes. It's not all
exactly.
that.
Exactly. But some people really love that kind of thrill, that kind of
Mhm.
excitement, right? It's just not my cup of tea. Um,
It was just the ocean was at the bottom of that airplane, so I jumped out into the ocean, and the scary part about that is I didn't know what was in the ocean. Sharks, I don't know, could have been anything.
I was gonna say it's not the jumping part; it's the landing part that scares the crap out of people, right? It's
Yeah.
how am I gonna land? So yeah, I really love. I'm really grateful. You asked earlier about what we were most grateful for this year, and that was part of that too. That's got to be part of that. It's finally getting to a point where I'm allowing myself um, to potentially disappoint other people
Yeah.
in favor of finding out what it is I want to be doing and getting really clear on that, and then being able to fulfill those different things. Not just for myself, but that allows me to show up for everybody else even more when I'm not struggling to fulfill somebody else's idea of what I should be doing. In essence, I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, 100%. So we have another guest backstage. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on up by special request from Bonnie. Welcome to the show, Mike Van Duzy.
Hey,
Hey, long time no see.
Good
yeah,
evening.
welcome.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Every day
Good.
is Monday.
Oh, everything is awesome. That's what Bonnie was just talking about, me doing all the pumping up of all kind of things, and then you're like, I don't really want to do that.
Well, yeah, I definitely got sucked into. I think I've told Terry the story about getting super excited about YouTube and then getting partway into it. I'm like, I don't really want to learn YouTube. I just want to do this part. But you don't, a lot of this stuff you don't know. Like I went through this whole year in a new business and I'm learning different parts, and I've learned that there are just certain parts of it that I just don't enjoy. Doesn't mean I'm going to drop the whole thing. Unbreakable Stories is still here. We found another way to make it work. Thanks to Terry doing most, like 99.98% of the technical stuff that I can't stand.
Right.
Or this probably wouldn't have been revamped because I could not, as much as I tried to make myself do that part of it, I had no real passion or enthusiasm for the tech, and it was grueling for me. I tried. We sat down and worked on film editing for a couple of hours the one day, and I was like, yeah. And I got off, and I'm like, no, this is all great information. This is not for me. I just don't enjoy it at all. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but
Now I'm doing the same thing. I mean, with like the hydroponics, the channels like grows, and if I was just a YouTuber, I know what I'm supposed to do and niche down and talk about a certain subject, and I get on there talking about all kind of things. I pivot, doing home and garden. I switch around. It's just if all I do is that one thing, I just get. I mean, I've been doing it for 5 years, so I would just totally be bored with it. So if I was just trying to grow it as big as possible, I know what to do, but how long would I last doing that? So I'm doing all kinds of things, and I see like new people coming up and starting out and like pass me by. I say, hey, and they're I talk to them and interact with them when they're small, and they do all the things and zip on by. But it's I'm just like what I'm doing is just like you said, building relationships, making it work for you. And I'd rather put out a video. I know how to put out a video and get thousands of views or 10,000 or 20,000, but I'd rather put out a video that gets a couple hundred views, but it gets me people going to my other websites or to my store. And I drive a lot of traffic away from YouTube, which is, they don't like it, but you got to decide, I've been doing this full time now for like a whole year. And, are you just like a YouTuber, or, are you actually trying to build a brand and doing all the other things, so you can't fall in with all of the stuff. I really don't interact with anyone on YouTube anymore. Like we had like the creator spotlight, we were talking with a bunch of creators, but you fall into that same rut, and everybody watches the same YouTube gurus, and everybody says you got to do this, you got to do that, and they like to stop by my channel once in a while, and oh, you got to make your audio better, or you have to do this, or your lighting, and they've got like 100 subscribers or something. And so it's I've been doing it like for 5 years, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and it makes a change with people. I get like emails and DMs and stuff all the time from people saying you help my family or you help my community, and we're helping an elderly community and just all kind of stuff like that. So you just got to get your priorities, and I'm happy, seeing what you've been doing, because we were together in like a little, I'll be running my mouth. You can tell me to shut up anytime, but well, we met like 4 or 5 years ago. It was like a little Twitter fam.
Yeah.
For like 20, 40 people or something, and everybody's all excited and pumping each other up. Like she was saying, we're all pumping each other up and everything. I think it was 2020 was like 2019 when New Year's happened. Everybody's like, 2020 is going to be the year. Yeah, we're going to crush it. We're going to, all this UAV stuff and everything. And then COVID happened, and everybody was like, oh my God, it's like, so, but most of them I haven't seen do much of anything. They went on, did their own thing and, go to work and stuff like that. But there's only been a few of those people that's actually done something. And I like watching what you're doing. We had like Patty, there's a couple other people, but stuff you've done with like, Evan Carmichael and Metzer and just all these people and that. And you went in the, what do you call it? That game show you were on.
Oh, 2-minute drill. Yeah.
2-minute drill, and just seeing all these things and watching people evolve and do that. It's I don't get time to stop by many live streams and all that. So I saw you were on in that, and I'm just happy to see you're still doing good and you're still going at it. Because I told her that she doesn't the Unbreakable thing, and I keep watching because she drops the ball and I'm taking it.
He did tell me that like 3 years ago. He's like, you need to do something with Unbreakable or I'm stealing it. I'm going to steal it. I'm going to steal it right out from under you. I think Terry's heard a little bit about these stories. When we first started working together last, I still can't believe it's only been like a year and a half, but I told him some of the initial stories. I was like, Mike told me if I didn't do something, I'm like, this is my shot. This is my sign from the universe. They sent me you. I'm like, so we got to do something with this. I was like, all right, let's see. Evan actually introduced Terry and I.
Okay.
And was like, you two need to do something together. I don't know what. And we did an interview, and then we talked a little bit about Unbreakable. And he came to me like a few days later. He's like, I like what you're doing here. He's like, I want to do something with this. And I'm like I said, we would not be here if it wasn't for Terry, because the tech stuff bores the crap out of me. Like I just can't. I tried forcing myself to do it. And I just saw LA post 100K. Holy crap. Congratulations. That's incredible. Because the last time we talked, I think about this time last year, you were at like 28,000 or something. That's incredible.
I don't, yeah, it's, I just don't, I really don't watch, like I said, the number of things never bother me. I've never posted a milestone anywhere. And I've had a channel, the Creator Spotlight, we're up over 1,000, just about get monetized, and had that one deleted. And it's, so, it's just about just putting in the work, building relationships.
Yeah.
Not, if I was just a YouTuber or something, then you'd stress out about all of that stuff. But I look at more than I look at those numbers is how much income it's generating and how many leads it's getting somewhere in that. Then, because I've seen some people with 300,000 or 400,000 post like their analytics, and they're getting like 4 or 5 times the views, like almost 500,000 views a month, and not making as much ad revenue as me.
Yeah.
So
Terry, oops, sorry. You want to ask him your questions? You were doing your roundtable. I know we're getting ready to.
Oh yeah, sorry, am I running my mouth here?
Oh no. I love hearing all about it.
Mike, congratulations first and foremost on your milestones, and you're so humble. I love it, man. And it's one of those things that, that's leadership, is providing influence and impact. And by you posting content out there every single day, you are providing influence that impacts other people's lives by consuming your content. You turn that into a business, and where you talk about ad revenue and this, that, and the other, you're right. It's all about keywords. It really is. And if you've niched down into a particular thing with keywords, that's what makes the money. It's not just let me toss out a video and I get a whole bunch of views. No, it's about the ads that play and the keywords that are in those ads that helps make you money. And people don't understand that. They don't really fully understand the game that goes behind making money on YouTube, especially once you get monetized. Because once you get monetized, it's not about your views. It truly is not. It's about the keywords that your video has and what you're targeting.
Right, exactly. Because it's the advertisers bid on content, and if they don't place any auction
Mhm.
like ads on yours.
Yeah.
You're just getting generic ads, which are the cheap ones. That's why you hear the average
Yep.
YouTuber gets like only a dollar for 1,000 views or something.
Yeah.
Whereas I think I'm getting like
100%.
about 10 times that amount because you're niche down. And then there's people who find your videos and put, certain ads on it. So
Yeah.
you just pay attention. If you're just out there just putting content out, like you said, nobody's going to run ads on them. They're just going to see,
Yeah.
Raisinets or.
Yeah, we could talk about that all day long, man, when it comes down to cost per view and cost per click, because what you really want is those clicks, not cost per view. And that's the reason why a lot of the YouTubers are unsuccessful, because they're getting the cost per view and they're not getting the cost per click. And that's where the money is at, is in the cost per click. Cost per click comes down to keywords and what people are really interested in. And there's advertisers that'll pay more money for a keyword. So like you could pick a great topic, great video, great keyword, and you could make $100 per click or whatever it is. And I'm just using that as an example because that keyword is more profitable. So once again, I love it. We could talk about this all
I
day
was
long.
going to say, this is why I'm friends with you, and I'm friends with you, and I'm friends with you. Because I get it, like I'm an accounting degree, but I don't have passion I'm enthusiastic about.
But this where it all like ties in is if you can turn it into something like what you're doing, like the show and the story and what y'all do elsewhere and everything and helping other people. And I could just go out and just make hydroponic videos and just put them out and get views and that. But it's if you can turn it into something you love and you're getting people saying thank you. You wake up, if your views are down or your revenue's down, I have my revenue up like close to 3,000 one month. But it doesn't stay there, it goes up and down, so if it goes down, but then you get up and you open a bunch of DMs and people are going, thank you. I'm growing my own food. I made a bunch of containers and gave them to our neighbors. And, so you keep getting stuff like that. And if you can work that into, everybody's got to eat, you got to make money. So what you do is just give people value. And if you can do that, you feel good about it. It's not, the money will come somewhere. So as long as you get the system set up in place and just concentrate on helping people, then you're going to wake up every day thankful for what you're doing and that. And that's when they say it never seems like work. You get up and you just feel like, I feel like getting up and doing this. It's not like I have to.
Yeah, I love it. Before I ask you the question, Mike, we have one of our friends over on Facebook that said her one word for 2023 is exploration. And I love that. Explore. Go out there and explore things. Pique your curiosity. I just bought a book the other day and, and I kind of stepped outside of my comfort zone by buying this book because I normally buy business books or, I geek out on business stuff. But I bought a book the other day about creativity because that's one thing that I want to explore within 2023 as well too, is my creative side, because I don't often take time to be creative. I'm too busy creating to be creative, if you will. But at the end of that, creating is still being creative. It's a matter of how you position the words. And but man, just sitting back and taking some time to explore the creative side of my mind, man, I've yet to kind of do that. And that's one of the things that I do want to challenge myself. So Catherine Long, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for that amazing word. But what I want to do is I want to dive into to Mike Vanduzzi here and ask him this very important question. So a couple of things here. Number one, what are you most grateful for 2022, and what are you most excited about looking into 2023?
I was just showing you that's my creative side. That's what I get just bored growing plants and just telling people about it. So that's what my wife used to paint and do murals, and we did all kinds of things. So that's what we actually built this whole studio, and that's what this whole year is going to be. Like this back here is going to like constantly change, like weekly. Keely's going to keep painting over it, and we're going to teach people how to do. It's going to be like home and garden. I mean, learning different faux finishes and everything. So kind of delving out of it. I'm excited. I don't know. It's just once the ball gets rolling, because you're always pushing. And like I said, and if you're helping people and it doesn't feel like work. You wake up and think, what else can I do? What else, that you can build on top of it, that you keep building, so that's what me and Bonnie talked about, when we're another thing I was telling people, build all these revenue streams. It doesn't seem like much, but they all add up. And then once you get all that going, then you can spend more time, like you said, being creative or doing something else. And it's, I've never been the sort to just do like the same thing over and over and over. You know, when I was young, you know, they're telling me, go work in a factory, go do this and that. And it's just mind numbing work, and I've got to be creative. So just that I have the opportunity to do this, and that's what we talked about for like years, is that, you know, and Gary Vee, I know you probably have a Gary Vee book back behind you. I know I saw all the ClickFunnels books and that, but what do you call it? Just that we have the opportunity to do this, to do anything, you know, that make revenue streams, earn a living, to reach out and connect with people around the world and help people. And, you know, it's like when you sit and think about it all, it's just like mind numbing, you know, that we never had any of these opportunities when we were growing up. You know, it was hard to even, you know, lick a bunch of envelopes and stuff envelopes and stick stamps on them and throw them out, or, you know, to reach people. And you know, now it's, you have something in your pocket that you can record a video, you can add and subtract, you can take, you know, and call somebody on the other side of the planet, or you can live stream on it and you can put it in your pocket or your purse. So it's, you know, and we've got incredible tools here that nobody's had in history. It's not, you know, I wake up, I just keep saying, like Gary Vee, you know, it's just, you appreciate everything and expect nothing. So I don't have any expectations out of anyone. If anybody worked with me, helps me or anything, I appreciate it, but I never expect anything. It's, you know, so you never get let down. It's, I don't know, I'm excited about it. You know, there's all this doom and gloom on TV, right? With the economy, and things are going to crash, and we're going through a recession. It might last all through 2023 and all that. And I'm just like, you know, we'll get through it. And I'm excited because it's, even as bad as it's getting, we're still 100 times better off than we were like 20 or 30 years ago, as far as opportunities and that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 4 different countries represented right here on this screen.
Wow.
Which is incredible. Yeah. Yeah, LA, you're in I almost said California. Oh my gosh. I'm not that bad at geography. Canada.
Totally different country.
Right? Sorry, I'm starting to get sleepy over here. We had a bunch of Chinese food before I came on here, and I'm just like starting to get into the sleep zone. And Lexi, I don't want to mess this up. Is it Netherlands, or is it like the small? Okay. Because I know when I was mailing you shirts, there was like, I had to be super specific. And the one thing I have to say about skill set, I have learned so much about geography in the past, like 1.5 to 2 years, just trying to really understand where people are from. And Peter, are you in Malaysia?
Yeah.
Or am I wrong? Okay. I got it right. I was like, we're live. I was like, don't let me mess this up. Right? So, but yeah, that's incredible. Like, I could go down a whole rabbit hole about that. My dad worked for University of Pittsburgh for many, many years. And so I got to meet people from all over the world that way. But it was a brief encounter usually. I wasn't building relationships with those people. Like we weren't meeting for an hour and a half. Like, God, that would have cost you like $1 million to call somebody for an hour and a half back in the 90s on a phone, right?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So.
Awesome. And then I think Alay had another question earlier he wanted me to ask. What are you allowing in your life that is preventing you from getting where you want to go? Is that the one you wanted me to ask, Alay?
No, we did that one already.
We did that one already?
Yeah.
No, not all of us.
Oh, maybe not all of us. That's possible. No, it's just the question. It's nice to hear from Mike and everybody in the group.
Awesome. All right. So we've been on for 1 hour and 23 minutes. I would have to say this has been one of the longest live streams that we've done in a while. And we always have the after party. So here's what I want to do. I want to make sure that we respect everybody's time and everything as well too. So I'm going to put in the chat here. I know we got Deborah waiting to join the after party. So Deborah, I'm going to put the link in the chat right now. If you want to join the after party, there's the link right there. Please tap on that. Come on backstage once we show. That way you're there, and I can bring you on. And I know you don't want to join the live show, but make sure that you click on that, and I'll leave you in the audience until the after show. So here's what I want to do. We're going to go ahead and close down. But what I always do is always do a round table around the horn as we close down. Any final thoughts? So anything that we talked about or just anything in general that you want to share before we close things down. So here's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and work our way. We'll start with Mike and we'll work our way around. Mike, Lexi, Peter, Alay, Bonnie, and I'll close out the show tonight. So Mike, over to you. Final thoughts here tonight.
I'm gonna pass.
Okay, Lexi, over to you.
I'll be running my mouth, and so I'm gonna. I just kind of We
Okay.
can talk about like the after party or whatever, but once
Got
I
it.
get to.
Understood, because I do have to go here very shortly as well too. I got some things going on upstairs. But Lexi, over to you. Final thoughts.
Let's promise ourselves to not be discouraged, give up, or let ourselves down because of circumstances, but instead stick to what we said 2023 will be. By this time, we all know what has kept us back. So I think it's about time that we say, okay, whatever we feel like, this is for us and for ourselves and how we feel. And if we need to take a break, we take a break. And if we want to get moving, then take a break and get moving again. But this is about not letting ourselves down in all variations.
I love it. Lexi, thank you so much for everything that you do. Peter,
You're
over to you.
welcome.
Yeah, for me will be idea to action. So wish everyone have a fruitful 2023. Thank you.
I love that, Peter. Thank you so much for everything that you do, man. You're a tremendous value to the team, Unbreakable, and over on Clubhouse as well too. I am truly grateful for everything that you do, man. You have such a generous heart, such a generous
Thank you.
action, and you do, man. You take action every single day, and I'm excited for you and looking forward to the things that you accomplish in 2023, man. All right, Alay, over to you.
Okay, I'm going to talk about one word. Every time I come here, I learn a new word or a word I've never used before. So Bonnie mentioned the word. She was telling a story and she was saying it is incredible. And I realized that I don't think I've ever used the word incredible. So I'm going to wish you all, the audience and the six of you, an incredible year for 2023.
Awesome, Alay. Thank you so much for everything that you do as well too. And man, you are a tremendous value here each and every single night. I know that I've shared that with you before, but I love your wisdom, your knowledge, your skills, your experience, the things that you bring to the table, because once again, it allows us to think a little bit differently from a different perspective. And that's truly powerful, man. And I'm grateful for you and the things that you're going to accomplish. Awesome. Bonnie, over to you. Final thoughts.
Yeah, so I promise not to say you're from California ever again, LA. Just kidding.
No worries.
It just dawned on me how incredible it is that I shipped a shirt all the way to Malaysia. That's literally on the other side of the planet. Sorry, Peter. It just, like, when I was going through the mode and I sent the shirt and I made the shirt, like, I was like, I just did the thing and I put it in the envelope and I researched how much it's going to cost and off it went, like the mail did their thing. But it just dawned on me, like, talking about this as this idea 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago, and what it's turned into is just, it's incredible. Sorry, I'm going to be stuck on this word incredible now. But it is. It just fascinates me the way things happen. Another thing I remember telling Mike at some point, like, I think it was you, Mike. This was a while ago. It's like, why can't I just work with somebody that could just do the thing and I'll just show up? And I'm like, holy crap, I manifested that. Not that I don't do any work. Let's just make that clear. But for the most part, like I said, Terry has just been amazing at like setting up everything, like the StreamYard, the YouTube channel, our social media accounts, our Clubhouse, which is just like took off like crazy. And that's what I did. I log in and I show up and I get to be me and I get to help support in other ways. But I don't have to, I'm not shouldering that weight all by myself anymore. And I have that support. And I just want to know how much, I want you to know how much I support. My gosh, I can't even talk anymore. How much I appreciate you and how grateful I am for each and every one of you who show up here and support us and what we're doing and this collaborative and collective impact that we're all having on not only just on each other, but everybody who comes to listen, to watch. That was my mom actually that was sharing her word for 2023. And so I just am really excited to see what we're going to all be doing here in 2023.
I love it. Bonnie, thank you so much for everything that you do. I know that I've expressed extreme gratitude over the last year of what it's like to work with you. You've helped me in more ways than I think that I could express publicly. And I think that on many occasions, we've let everybody know, you know how grateful we are for each other and the things that we built here with Unbreakable Stories. And I'm grateful for Evan Carmichael for introducing us as well too. It was under an interesting gaming show. It's like, who knew? It's like one of those things is like, here you go, you guys need to connect. Like, he saw something in us that we didn't see within ourselves. And that's the power of leadership. That's the power of collaboration. That's the power of wisdom, knowledge, skills, experience, all the things that we've talked about within the last year on Clubhouse and here on YouTube and, different platforms and conversations that we've had, even personal conversations that you and I've had. And we scuba dove down many rabbit holes when it comes to like conversations. I'm telling you, there's conversations Bonnie and we've had in the last year that, they're memorable, and it's those moments that become memories that will last forever. And hopefully that we've created some truly memorable moments for each and every single one of you. I'll leave you with this. And it's one of the things that I really learned within 2023 or 2022 and moving forward within 2023. And here's probably one of the big lessons that I learned over the last year. What people come for, what people stay for are two different things. In the last year, Bonnie and we've had a lot of people come within our lives over on Clubhouse and the many different platforms that we've gone live on and we've talked about and this, that, and the other. We've met a lot of truly phenomenal people and some incredible people. We've had the opportunity to talk to some incredible people, interview some people, even people that Bonnie had no idea about. And we was going to shut Unbreakable Stories down because I was being selfish, kind of a thing. So we won't dive down that rabbit hole. But look, I'm telling you, Unbreakable Stories almost wasn't here. But it's a matter of giving yourself grace and understanding and, filling in all of the blanks, because there's things that Bonnie's good at that I'm not good at. And that's the power of teamwork. There's things that Peter is good at that I'm not good at. There's there's things that Alay's good at and Lexi's good at. And that's the power of that collaboration. I talk about the 4 C's: consume, create, collaborate, contribute. I talk about that all the time. And it's one of those things to where when you surround yourself by powerful people, you will empower yourself. And I truly mean that. You will empower yourself. I feel empowered when I'm with Bonnie, because before I met Bonnie, I didn't have a one word. Evan asked me what my one word was like 3 years ago. And I was like, dude, I don't freaking have a one word. I don't know. Like, I read your book. I just got it, man. Like, I just don't have a word. It's like I'm all over the place. I was throwing darts at a dartboard, to see what sticks, throwing spaghetti on a wall to see what sticks. And at the end of the thing, I was left with a mess. And until I was introduced to Bonnie, I was really going nowhere within a lot of different things. And she truly corralled me in and said, look, you're unbreakable. That's your one word. We talked about here tonight, what's our one word? And prior to meeting Bonnie, I didn't have a one word. So I'll confess that one right here to everybody. I didn't have one. And I've embraced unbreakable. Even though it was not my original one word, it was Bonnie's one word. I embraced that. And I took that under my wing and created something, because I learned a long time ago, it takes a leader with vision to create the future. It truly does. To see the things that others do not see, and to do the things that others cannot do or will not do, for that matter. Earlier we talked about be, no, do. You see, I learned that within my 24-year military career, be, no, do. So there's a lot of things that I can be, and there's a lot of things that I know and I can do. And it's a matter of bridging the gap. It's a matter of filling in the spaces of what you see as potential. You see, Bonnie has a lot of potential, a lot of untapped potential, and she's starting to see those things now. It's all starting to come to light. It's all starting to come to fruition. Alay, you have potential. Peter, potential. Mike, potential. We all have potential. Lexi, I mean, my goodness, man, you've got a lot of potential. I believe in that. I just get you corralled into the actions that are most important, and you're gonna crush it, man. I know you are. Alay, same thing. And it comes down to courage. It comes down to commitment. It comes down to confidence. It comes down to all these things. We talk about one words, but it's a matter of those one words, when used well in a sentence or a paragraph, that really kind of tells the story. And that's one of the things that we've been doing here within Unbreakable Stories. We've been telling words. We've been talking about sentences, paragraphs, things that mean something, because our ultimate goal is to help people overcome the struggles, the roadblocks, the hardships, the adversities within life. Because you know what? We all have a story to tell. We all do. You have a story to tell that could motivate, inspire, encourage, but more importantly, empower somebody that's out there. And it is through that story that you could literally save somebody's life. Because it's not a matter of where you've been, it's a matter of where you're going, but really more important, where you can take somebody else. So when you share your story, you give somebody else hope. You give somebody else life. And that's the power of what we're building here. It starts with a word, but it's so much deeper than that. It truly is. It's so much deeper than that. And every single day that we have conversations with ourselves and with other people, we discover what that is. We discover within ourselves the things that we didn't see before by talking to other people. See, every time I talk to you, I learn something. Every time I chat with Alay or Lexi or Peter, I learn something. And it's one of those things that I'm able to learn because I'm willing to listen. And I listen so that I can learn. I learn so that I can understand. I understand so that I can take action. And that's what it's all about. Each and every single day, taking one step at a time, one action at a time. And you know what? Somebody's out there watching, and they're learning, and they're discovering, and they're judging all at the same time. But you know what? Secretly, behind closed doors, they are doing exactly what they learned from you. But they would not have learned it had they not listened to you or discovered you or come across your path. There's so many great people that are out there within the world. But you know what? If you want to be great, you surround yourself with even greater people. And I want to close by saying I am surrounded by some of the greatest people that I know right here within this stage, right here on StreamYard. Bonnie, Alay, Mike, Lexi, Peter. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I love each and every one of you. It's been a truly phenomenal year. My name is Terry Thompson. I am the host of Unbreakable Stories, and Peter is holding up the Unbreakable sign. Let me grab this paper here. And something that Bonnie created. She created this absolutely amazing printout right here, the I Am Unbreakable printout. So if you head over to our website, it's been scrolling across the bottom of the screen all night. Unbreakablestories.com/share. That page is a little wonky right now because I'm doing some site maintenance at the moment. So when you go to that page, you're going to see the pictures all over the place. It's crazy. So I am in the moment of doing some site maintenance. But if you go there and you print that out, you share it across social media, use the hashtag #MyUnbreakableStory. Follow us at Unbreakable Stories across all platforms. And I'm telling you, if we see that, we will share that across our social media. We'll put you on our website. We'll give you a shout out in a future video or somewhere along the way. And if you do, you have a story to share. It's not a matter of if you do. I know you do. Everybody that's watching this video right here, everybody watching the replay, you have a story to share that could change somebody's life. And we want to share that story at unbreakablestories.com. So head over to unbreakablestories.com. We have a link for that. Submit your story. If you go into the submit your story, you could send your story. We've had some truly amazing stories sent in by Deborah. We've had so many other stories that has been sent in to us, and that's going to be, it could go out in many different platforms across the book, our podcast, on a video. We're going to share that story to someone because somebody needs to hear your story. Unbreakablestories.com. Have a great night. Have an amazing Happy New Year. Have an amazing 2023, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great night, everybody.
Have a nice night. Take care.
Bye-bye.